Hi there, this is John. I'm sitting with Dean at Ice Life Wellness, and it's interesting. We're just sitting in the garden and we've been talking about this DNA test that I had done recently. And me and Dean, those that follow Ice Life Wellness might know we've been into cold therapy, we've been into breath work, and all these different modalities to try and heal ourselves initially, and with time that's progressed and we're now serving other people. We run events monthly, we do one-to-one coaching, and we always like to start with ourselves. And we were really inspired to, I think it was a couple of months ago, brother, I was listening to one of the Gary Brecker
Yeah.
and the Huberman Lab podcasts, and they talked about this thing called the methyl cycle, and I was really intrigued. I phoned Dean. Dean lives in Marbella, and I was phoning Dean. I listened to this amazing podcast, and it talked about the methyl cycle. So I gave him this very sort of, JT rendition of this cycle. And what it really boils down to is that 44% of the population, we're not able to methylate. That means that we're not able to take the usable form of certain vitamins, and in particular they're vitamin B12, and there's things called folic acid, folate. So for example, I know now from the DNA test that I have a particular gene type that means I can't methylate. So I could be having B12 injection, I could be taking all of the B12 through different forms, and my body's not able to convert it into the form that my body needs. And that's very, very important for the brain in particular, cognitively. And me and Dean, we both have, the labels, if you like, some of the ADD, the ADHD, the OCD, call it tendencies. And we were really intrigued to know whether this could make a difference. So the next stage was, look, he talked about these, you could buy these methylated versions of B12, and you could also get them naturally in food types. So one of the areas where you get an abundance of the folate in particular is through liver. So if you're like me, I'm a meat eater, no problem for me. So I started to get some more of liver, chicken's liver, beef liver, lamb's liver. Started to introduce that into my daily diet. And Dean, on the other hand, he just went on to these methylated B vitamins, meth B. And Dean, will you say how you felt, brother, on them?
Yeah, so obviously I don't know if I methylate or not, but we have taken it one step further, because after I started with the meth Bs, I noticed a massive shift about 2-3 weeks after taking them. So a good entry point is actually to start with these meth Bs and see if anything happens. And John got me to do the same test as what he did, and it's just, you order it through healthily through with us, and you just take the swabs first thing in the morning, not brushing your teeth, and that's going to give us that really insightful information. And what we're looking for is, whatever happened when I started taking these methylated B complex, I really noticed a difference, and I wanted to look further into that. And what John was saying, based on his results on his test, he has been able to go deep into the genetic side of things.
Yeah. So it confirmed in some ways. I thought maybe I'm one of the 44%, and it confirmed, hey, I have got the mother gene, as they call it, the MTHFR gene. And that can make a funny acronym, which we're not going to say on this podcast. So it's like, have you got this gene? Yes, you have. And rather than it be like a bad thing, think of it as like, oh, that's just confirmation. It's confirmation I don't methylate. I know that I can either get it in natural format, so leafy green vegetables, spinach, broccoli are great examples of natural folate, but you can also supplement it. So the same price as a regular set of supplements, we can get you the methyl Bs, and I don't know, I think it just slows things down. So sometimes we know with things like ADD and ADHD, there's a danger of everything's running very, very fast. It's like something's coming in, we're not landing it, the next thing's coming in, the next thing's coming in, next thing's coming in. And that could just be as simple as you're not able to methylate the bees. So how cool is it to know that even without the test, we're talking 17-18 pounds for a 60-day supply of meth bees, you could just start to feel different.
And with BioCare, we actually have managed to get you all a discount. So if you just reach out to us, DM us, and we can share you a link so you can get that discount. But what I also noticed is, so if you're a stressful, anxious person, and you find it quite, as John was just saying, you find it that it takes you a long time to wind down or come back to sort of your homeostasis.
Yeah.
I noticed that's where the big result was. So if you don't methylate, you're not absorbing that B6, that B12,
Yeah.
which is the thing that will help you manage those stressful anxiety, those panic attacks, overwhelm, ADHD, ADD,
yeah.
all of those things. So if you do methylate, well, you're going to get the B complex.
Yeah.
So and if you don't, you'll notice that shift. So
And the other thing in there as well is, so you may be able to methylate, but it's also about folic acid. So what we realised from listening to the Gary Brecker and the Huberman lab is that anything where it says the word fortified, it means sprayed. Okay, so if you've got fortified wheat or fortified grain cereals, which, as far as we're concerned, you shouldn't be eating anyway, but let's not go there. But anything fortified means they've added a synthetic version of the folate called folic acid. Now it works hand in hand that normally if you've got the MTHFR gene, you're unable to respond and work from the synthetic folate. And you think, well, that's fine, but it's not, because what happens, it builds up in the body. So every time you've had the grain, the wheat, there's the gluten, but there's also this folic acid building and building and building, and that's building higher homocysteine in the blood, which is the anxious and stress hormone. So it could be as innocent as you think, oh, I'm eating a good diet, I'm having my toast in the morning, and I'm eating my 2 eggs and everything. But what you don't realise is that every time you're having that wheat, every time you're having the synthetic folic acid, that your body's not able to discharge it, it's not able to utilise it, and it builds up in the body. So what we're doing is we're going from a synthetic folic acid to a methylated folate, a methylfolate. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, So we do start off with a methyl test. The DNA testing that we do is very comprehensive. In all, there's 122 pages of data, which you may want to go and do the deep sea dive on, which we will support you with. So it can tell you everything about how you are in sunlight, for example. Has your skin got natural UV protection? What about your gut biome? What about how you handle caffeine? So I learned from my test that I'm a quick processor of caffeine. So I could have my exhale coffee, which I've just had, and within 1 hour I fully processed the caffeine. We don't know because Dean hasn't got his tests back yet, but we'll find out with Dean. He could be a slow metabolizer, or he could be a fast metabolizer. But again, it's just tweaking it. And if someone's maybe been drinking 3-4 coffees a day and they feel fine, then it's probably going to be all good. If you feel like you're a little bit wired or you're getting a little bit anxious, it could give you that confirmation that maybe take your coffee early in the morning and enjoy that early morning coffee, and then you move on to something else in the afternoon.
Yeah, and one thing, as John was saying, is starting off with the meth B complex will give you some insight. You'll notice it, and then it's about then going that little bit step further, doing the test as I'm doing, as John's already done, and just seeing how it's improved bits of your life and your diet where you've made adjustments based on that test.
Yeah.
And then what John will do is actually he will review that for you and explain it to you. And then if you want a tailored nutritional plan, or how you can basically take that information and have a tailored planned diet, the types of food, the supplements,
Yeah.
based on those results, then John's going to be able to really have a deep dive with you and help you achieve those best results.
And what is nice about the test as well, it looks at it like you get the physical and then you get the cognitive. So there's a whole section on our cognitive health. So, for example, what's your REM sleep like? Are you pre-wired to get good REM sleep? Or like me, are you pre-wired not to get good REM sleep? So if I know that my genetic blueprint is that I'm not really a good REM sleeper, then what can I do to enhance that? So red light therapy, wearing the red light blue block glasses at night, all of a sudden, whatever the gene expression is, which we know is only 5%, the rest of it is down to lifestyle. So it's not like getting the test and go, oh no, I'm never going to get any REM sleep. It's saying, look, if I'm already prone to get poor REM sleep, don't watch TV, cut down your screen time, move on to the red light, move on to the block blue light glasses and the light. And they're little transitions that we've made now. So, my wife Tracy, I got her the block blue light reading light, so she's still able to read a book in the evening in bed, and it doesn't stop me. I then got the iPad, the eyeglasses, if you like, which I put on, and all of a sudden I find now I'm getting a good 7 to 9 hours solid sleep. And again, I've learned that through doing the test. So I think really the sort of next steps is that if any of this podcast, this video is of interest to you, please reach out. And what we're offering the base test. So what we do is we work with a third party. We would then get your information, so you send us your name, address and postcode. Within 2 days you will get sent in the post a little pack, as Dean's already explained, a very, very simple instruction booklet on there and what to do. Take your swabs in the morning before you've had breakfast or you've had water, pop it back in the post, and then the results would then come back to me, and then I would then sit down with you a couple of weeks later and we'd have our first consultation where we would go over all the top level, what's the interesting information that's come out of there. We're not necessarily going to do the deep sea dive on the first one. It's going to be coming up with your 1, 2, 3. What are 3 things you could change straight away? Might be something about hydration, might be confirmation that the methyl Bs are what you need. It might be something about some other nutrient that you could be putting into your body. Then we can then just let it unravel from there. If it's something that you have specific outcomes around your physical fitness, you'll tend to work more with me. If it's going to be more to do with your cognitive health, that's something you might work more with Dean on. And also we have other members of the team as well, such as Lindsay and Paulina, and we have a whole host of different modalities. We're breath workers, we're cold therapists, we're nutritionists, and then the exercise regimes as well. So there's a whole round robin of solutions that we can give to you, and we really love doing it. We love working with people. Me and Dean have both been to our dark places. We've both been broken men, mine through PTSD, through working in a high pressure job, and Dean through life-changing surgery intervention that he had 10, 15 years ago, was it, brother?
It was 2007.
2007, yeah. So I think you're working with people that really, really know what it's like to be in that place, to be in that dark place. We're not coming from like 2 guys who've been to uni and become a couple of psychologists and that. We know what it's like. We know what it's like to be stuck, and we love working with people to try and help them to find the best versions of themselves. So check us out. We've got the, you'll see the Ice Life Wellness. We do daily posts. A lot of it's around the cold plunging. Dean's got the cryo shower, which he told you more about on other podcasts, but Dean's put all of his life savings into creating a cold therapy that people are able to access pretty much anywhere in the world. So if you don't have access to an ice bath, you could take a cold shower, and we know that even a 30-second blast, a 1-2 minute in the morning, change your whole outlook on the day. Cognitively, it changes things. You're changing your physiology, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, epinephrine, to name just a few things. And these things are something you can start to introduce into your daily regime. And it's like, what's it cost you? Nothing. Buy a little cryo shower unit, stick your ice cubes in, happy days. So start checking Dean out as well on the cryo shower app. He's got lots of other stuff to share with you. Do you want to say any more about that, brother?
So, not about cryo shower. I think we'll do a podcast on that. We're sat at the moment in John's back garden. We've got Cut the Bullshit HQ over there.
We'll just swing it round a little bit there, and you can see there we got the ice bath, and we've also got like a sauna as well, because we do offer one-to-one work from home with contrast therapy. So sometimes it's the hot and the cold that work really well.
So I think going from what John was talking about, what we do, and we've been through the patterns. As John says, we were broken men. We were at the bottom of the barrel, and so we know what it took us to change. We know we can identify those patterns of what had to happen to change, and we're both called to serve. Like John said, it's not that we've just turned up and we're like, oh yeah, everyone's jumping in the cold. No, this is what helped us. This is part of our own transformation, and we want to give that back. And it might be that you have a comorbidity and you can't get into the cold. Yeah. So, these are tools in our toolbox that we use, and what we would help you do through the DNA testing, through the supplements, the nutrition, is finding the tools that works for you. That's what it's about. It's about what works for you, and that's what we want to do. Is we want to help you find those tools that help you be your best, that cut your bullshit. We would love for you to get into the cold, because we know how liberating it is. Yeah. We show up every single day. Sometimes we don't want to get in there, but that's the pattern. Yeah. And when you understand that pattern and stepping into that resistance, everything changes for you.
And it's been a great thing really. When I met Dean actually a few years ago at a breath camp, and we just had that. What really bonded us was our love for the cold. So we'd both gone to a breath camp, but we were the guys turning up at this freezing cold swimming pool in the morning.
Green.
Yeah, green swimming pool, and the freezing shower block in October.
Singing with This Little Light of Mine.
Yeah. And what we realised was there was that, the hard and the soft, and I think Dean even said to me one day, he went at JT, I've got to stop you, brother. You're just telling the same story. You've got to cut the bullshit. So sometimes people that don't know, they hear this strapline, they cut the bullshit, and they thinking it's like it's a negative thing, or it's a bit like you're not being heard. But I think what me and Dean know, it's important. We actually want to hear, initially want to hear the story, but then it's like the story's not serving you anymore, and it's now time to put that focus into where do you want to be. What got you here is not going to get you there. So I think what you'll hopefully find is, working with us, we're able to give you the hard and the soft. So there's the openness, the listening, the empathy, and knowing that what it's like to be in that place. But then it's also why we've got to now cut that bullshit, as Dean said, and say, well, okay, where do we want to be? What's the upgraded version of ourselves? We're not going to play the victim anymore. We need to step up. And we know that's hard, and it's not like just stepping up on your own. Yes, we're going to be there supporting you, holding your hand, helping you breathe, being there with you every step of the way, but also making sure you don't revert back into them negative and destructive patterns.
And don't think it's a quick solution. You know, me and John have been doing this for years, and we're still working on ourselves and still doing the work to better ourselves. And you know, there's an element which is for us, because you know, it doesn't just stop. It's not that you get in, then you do it for 90 days. It's it's a lifestyle, as you said. It becomes your lifestyle, and cut the bullshit ends up becoming liberating when you understand the philosophy behind it, and that it becomes a tool for you to use. And it's like, no, I'm taking back control, you're taking back control, John took back control. And it's beautiful when you're just like, got to cut the bullshit. And on the other side of that is that best version of you. That you know, you become happy, you get out and you're just like, you know what, I'm in the driving seat. You know, you've got the bull, it's a bull, the logo. You've got the bull by the horns. You know, we have a thing which is like putting your hand on the tiller. You know, you can steer the ship, you know, but you know, it's about letting go.
And it's really interesting you say that again, Dean. I mean, when I going through them early phases, you know, you thinking nothing's changed, and then you come home and you know, you've got your family and your loved ones, and there's initially saying, oh, you know, something's changed in JT, and because it's changed, it's difficult for them to begin with. You know, they think, oh, you know, it's a bit weird, and some of the stuff we do might seem a bit weird. We're breathing in new ways, and you know, stepping into an ice bath in your back garden in December, your family might think you've gone a little bit nuts. But very quickly people start seeing the difference. Got a little wasp in my ear. Seeing the difference in you, and then they're like, they can't help but be curious, and then start to go, oh yeah, it's a bit weird, but wow, what's going on for JT? What's he getting high on? And realise that you're getting high on the modality, the cold therapy. And weirdly, within, I'd say 6 months, I had my eldest, Harry's not quite gone there yet, but Max came to an event, and he had a very profound effect on him. And then other people that started to come along that were considered to be like normal people, as I was described as, they were like, wow, I never knew that breath work, I never knew the cold, I never knew these shifts in diet or shift in nutrition could make such a big difference. So we know it works, and we know that, you know, again, the journey you're going to go through, it's not just about you, it's about taking you and your family unit or your friends on that journey with you, so that you're not feeling, as you make the change, you're feeling isolated. Because quite often with change, what can happen, if you take the analogy of a jigsaw puzzle, and you've come out of that jigsaw puzzle, your piece has changed, it's not now going to fit back in the jigsaw. Now you have two choices: you either morph back into where you were, or you have to start to create different environments, or your friends, which are the rest of the jigsaw puzzle, they start to change around you. So we know, you know, we're with you every step of the way. We know it's not just a slam like, come along, come and do a breath work, come and take a few supplements and you're all done and dusted. We know it's a journey. It starts to a minimum of 90 days, minimum. And to be honest, brother, we've learned ourselves, you know, some people have come along like very desperate, and we've done a session with them or two, and we're not really serving people, and it's something we said we're not going to do anymore. We can't, if we just brief someone once or twice and start opening them up, it can leave them actually more vulnerable than if they were left alone. So what we want to do, it's a two-way commitment. We want to commit to helping you on your healing journey, and know that, yeah, the first 30, 60, 90 days, that's just the transition, that's just the start of it. Then we start to embody some of that, and then when we get to the end of the 12 months, we feel like we're starting to make some progress.
Definitely after the 12 months, you really start to lock that lifestyle in. Those lifestyle changes really start to become you. You're living, breathing it. You know, now we've breathed, plunged and coached over 1,000 people, and we really see those changes. And we know that it's difficult to create new habits, but at the same time, what you have to remember, that discomfort of creating that change, right, is no different. And this is just a way to look at it, right? I'm going to choose to create that change, and you'll be like, oh, I'm really resisting it. But it's a choice. You either choose that new path, or you stay where you are and you're still living discomfort.
Yeah.
You know, one is unconscious done, but it becomes conscious when you listen to this and you be like, oh, well, I know that I could try these things. And as John said, start with the methylated bees. Come to one of our coffee plunge events.
Yeah.
Just come to one of our like half-day events. Just come and explore. See what it's about. Try it. And then if you find something that's there, then you take those next steps.
And also we know that society, especially now, it's very good, and you know, we've used some of them labels just because we wanted to make a point really, but all of these things, whether it's, you know, you're hearing now, oh, more kids are suffering from ADD and ADHD and that, they're labels that have been put on behaviours. We know that at the hub of that is sugar, and we know that because they can't methylate, they're lending themselves more open to these labelled conditions. But what we know is from the healing work we've done, very rarely is someone broken. They don't need fixing. They need to bring all of the parts into alignment, into that self-governance. So what we're able to do is someone come and go, I've got this, I've got that. In some ways we're hearing you, but the labels are the labels. The labels are for the drug dealers that want to give you, the doctors who want to go, right, here's the drug, here's the solution. We believe that you've got the resources within you to heal yourself. Yes, you might need a little bit of a helping hand with a few supplements, but most of this can be done very naturally using, you know, grounding work, using the cold baths, using certain breath patterns, just shifting up, taking some things out the diet, adding things that are more nutritious and more supportive.
Yeah, John said there, which is you are the solution. That solution, that energy is within you, and we understand because we've done it. You know, where you are now and those patterns are based on, you know, a combination of your upbringing, your environment, your workplace, your education. You know, they have all been part of like who you are, and you've just embodied those, right? So they are part of you, but at the same time, you can make that change. It's just about rewriting those patterns, and that then becomes the cold is a tool. The methylated bees, if all of a sudden you find that shift, come do the test with us.
Yeah.
You know, John can then really tailor a program for you based on those results. Start getting you operating and performing at your best.
And it doesn't matter whether you're if you're a working mum, you're a professional, you know, couple, you know, sometimes we all again come up with the bullshit, you know, well, I've got, you know, this is my situation, and you know, we help a lot of people. I've just been working with someone, you know, he's been a young mother, and you know, that's got trials and challenges with that, broken sleep, and you know, going like, you know, having to get up for work and being your best and stuff. So it's knowing that, you know, you've got what you've got, and we can still make a great deal of progress from that platforms. You know, if you're having broken sleep patterns, again, what can we do to make sure the sleep you are getting is of the best quality? What if you're you're a professional working man and that you've got some other challenges, you're having to travel a lot, you're having to get some early mornings in? What can you do to enhance that? You know, could you sleep on a different mattress? Could you do like just even a 2-3 minute mindfulness meditation? Could you use the red light therapy? Could you put the glasses on when you're on your long haul flight off to the other side of the world? Could you take a little ice bath when you get there? Could you take a cold shower just to get yourself back in regulation? So we very much pride ourselves on working with real people in real life situations, and we hope that we can work with you in the future.
We also understand that you know, times are hard right now, so things that you could go and do is your cold shower at home, get your feet barefoot on the ground, morning sunlight. You know,
simple bit of like some Celtic salt in your water, keep you hydrated.
Yeah.
Simple things that don't cost a lot, but again, you might not even know that they can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So to sort of summarise then, really, you know, we're here to serve. we would love to hear from you. DM us just to have you found this video useful, informative. If you'd like to take up the offer, we're offering people the methyl Bs at like a reduced price just to get you started. So it'd start you with the methyl Bs. DM us, give us your information, we'll send you your first pack. If you then feel you would like to go to the next level and you'd like to do the DNA test, reach out to us and we can tell you more about what's involved in the test, the cost of it for the test, and the initial consultation. It's going to be £500, so you're going to get full DNA test. And bear in mind that DNA is what you were born with and what you're going to die with. Okay, so it's great to know that that's, if you like, that's the blueprint. What we know is how it plays out is totally down to you. So, you know, if you've been dealt the card, how are you going to play out the cards? That's the important thing. That's the self-governance, the control. So I would highly recommend start with the meth Bs.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think you'd go for maybe a couple of 3 weeks, see how you feel. Then when you feel called, I'd then do the DNA test. And then we do the initial consultation with you to say, okay, these were the key findings. And then after that, it's like, where do you want to go with it? Do you want to go deeper into the cognitive side? Do you want to go deeper into the nutrition? Do you want to get more into the breath work or the cold therapy? And then it's just working with you. I mean, Dean does a lot of one-to-one coaching with clients. I do a lot of one-to-one work, and we're dealing with lots of different working mums, professional working people, couples, teenagers, children. You know, sometimes people have been to all of the different medical professions and they've told them stuff, they've given them medication. I mean, I've had one person I've been dealing with for about 7-8 months now. She takes no meds at all. She was been on meds for 14 years for ADHD, come totally off the meds, using cold therapy, using breath work. And we've not even done the methyl test yet. Yeah. So there's loads of progress still to be made there.
Just from a personal perspective, we will try and get you to go into cold therapy. We will understand if there's a medical reason why you can't, but we know how liberating it is. And me, from a life-changing injury, I was on opioids, sleeping tablets. I don't take anything. I use the cold therapy and breath work to manage my pain, like a pain management tool. And we will champion cold therapy through and through because we know the benefits. Yeah. And it's something that you can access just from your tap.
Yeah.
You got anything else, brother?
No, I think I'm just we're glad we've been wanting to put this video together for some time. I feel like it's great to be able to share, and we're here to serve. We want to help and support people. Just hope that you the audience found this informative. Please reach out to us. Anything you've heard that you like, you don't like, you'd like to know more information about, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, I think if you've got any questions or whatever that you want to ask us that we might be able to help you with, and if we can't do that, we've got somebody within the team that can. Yeah. And as John was saying about the sort of like the coaching and the nutritional side, we can actually tailor a program for you on that 90 days. And like John said, we've got Paul and Lindsay. We've also got a guy that can help you with some personal training. Yeah. We would actually help you more on the coaching, the nutritional side. Yeah. And our team will then help you to continue with that journey. Yeah. So it's a fully supported program. Our mission is just to get you liberated on the other side and changing those patterns. It's not that we sort of pick you up and then you get dropped off.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, well, thank you guys. Have a fantastic day, and send you all much love.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Got it, brother?